all to the final day of the 5 days capacity building course on enhancing teacher effectiveness for creating a progressive society. We had positive feedback on all these days, and I'm sure today too you will get more insight on leadership. I welcome today's speaker, Taflin Pratana from London, who is to present on the topic strategic thinking and strategic leadership. Taflin Pratana is called as Prati by family and local friends, and Taffy by colleagues and friends, and also by me. Taffy is from Tuticorin and the first daughter of two leading and well-known professors of Tamil Nadu, Professor James Williams and Professor Rosary Mary. She was a product of Holy Cross Anglo-Indian School and is more interested in music, dancing, painting, badminton, and chatting. She is a well-trained Bharatanatyam dancer and a recipient of first prize at an All India Camlin painting competition during her school days and won many prizes in dancing and extracurricular activities. She had her undergraduate education at National Engineering College, Kovilpatti, where she consistently got the first prize in academics. She was awarded the British Chevening Scholarship instituted by the British government's Commonwealth Programme, which covered her entire expenses for higher studies in the UK. She did her post-graduation in advanced computing in the prestigious Imperial College London that ranks among the top 10 world universities, which boasts of 14 Nobel Prize winners, including Sir Stephen Fleming. After her post-graduation, she declined the opportunity to do PhD at Imperial College because of her love for traveling and exploring, and she took up a job in the UK as a software engineer at Clarity Blue, Experian, and later joined the Sky as a lead developer. She did many roles in software development and technical project management, managing high-functioning teams, where she was consistently getting Sky Award for contribution towards Sky Values, the Sky Series Award for the best performance, the Sky Believe in Better Team Awards, and the individual performance for Impact to Sky Award, etc. Later, she became the architect in Sky London before moving on to her new mission as an engineering team lead in Akada. Currently, she is the first UK lead for perception robotics, supporting her head of engineering to rebuild a new department in perception robotics research, simulation, and optimization. To be surrounded by like-minded people and empower each other is important to her. To keep evolving always and to bring out the best version of oneself. She truly believes that happiness and contentment comes from within, and that can only be achieved with kindness and love. Real victory to her lies in mastering your mind and believing in yourself. Thank you, Taffy, for accepting our invite in spite of your super busy schedule. Now over to Taffy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's amazing. I'm just going to check. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, fantastic. So, hello, everyone. It's amazing. It's actually amazing to be on Zoom and to have a chat with you all located, at different parts of the world. Just so we are clear, I'm not going to give a lecture. Let's just have a chat with all of you. That's the plan. So how are we all doing? See, bunking classes was always fun. Okay, I would agree. And now that college has been closed, workplace has been closed officially for a few months, how are you all? Enjoying at home, chilling, watching movie? Please post some comments. Would love to hear what the rest of the world thinks. How has this COVID-19 staying at home been? You can post in your chat box, I can see. Oh, cooking. Selena Junior is saying cooking, a new experience. Boredom for someone. Yogesh, who was that? Yes, Nishi says it's boredom. Ah, okay. See, that's that. You should use the time wisely. Come on. There's loads of things to do. It's family, spending time with kids, opportunity to spend lots of time with kids. We miss our students. Ah, so Mrs. Pravi says they miss their students. Fantastic. discovering myself. Oh, that is fantastic, Corita. Thank you. Thank you for all the comments. Yes, this is completely new, isn't it? We would have never, ever, ever dreamt of something like this. This is a surreal situation in many ways. And look at us, sitting miles apart and still handling it all so well. So I'm really pleased to see all those amazing comments. Just wanted to ask, is this webinar a little too much? Is your college making you attend all of this during these times? Yeah, someone saying, but now busy attending webinars. That's fantastic. For me, I had to wake up early. It's 7:30 in UK, and for the last few months, I haven't woken up at 5:30 or 6 in the morning. So yeah, new day for me today. Okay, I would say it is awesome to have set up this 3-day capacity building course for the benefit of all of you, and for me as well in many ways to do this. Lots of efforts gone to Animal Training College staff and Dr. Principal in particular. So in fact, I know Dr. Principal Sharmila through my parents. I have huge regards for her and what she's actually been doing for her institution. She had been in London for an academic conference. We missed meeting her because she was here on a short stay. In fact, we would have loved to have you at our place, Dr. Sharmila. So it's really good. Okay, what are we going to do today? We're going to talk about something thought-provoking, something I feel that is mandatory and essential for today's world. Okay, so before we start, should we have a quick poll, please, on what is your experience? Can I have the staff,
Yeah.
please, to have?
Yes,
yeah.
The poll is posted.
Sorry, if you guys
yes,
poll for me.
Yes,
they
are cool. Polling.
All right,
can you
fantastic.
See it, Rafi?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
So there's about 34% who says less than 5 years of experience. 10 to 20, about 51%. Oh, it's keeping on going. 267, fantastic. Cool. Okay, I will let it to go. I'll come back to it later if that's okay. And I'm not going to end the poll yet if people are still commenting on it. So going back. All right, what are we going to talk about? I'm going to try and share my screen. I have a little bit of a problem here. If I log into my Zoom app and I share the screen, I may not be able to see you. So give me like a few seconds for me to sort that out. Okay, please let me know if you guys can see it.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
All right, that's fantastic. And I can see the chat as well now. Apologize until I get this sorted for me, if that's okay. All right, okay. So here we go. Let's chat about some strategic thinking and leadership keywords. Okay, so first, if we're going to chat about strategic thinking, I think it's important that we know what is strategy. So guys, what do you think? What is a strategy? What is strategy? Could you post your comments, please? Same in your chat box. Playing, plan of action, way, a trick, plan, trick, a plan. Prashad says, planning, technique, how meticulous. Voice is not clear, ma'am. Sorry.
But voice is very clear. Problem may be their device. Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. 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 The voice is clear. So well-planned action, planning meticulously, small. Oh my God, you guys are super intelligent. Do you even need me to talk you through this? Yes, it is a game plan. Strategy is a game plan. And for game plan, you know what we say, from playing chess to getting married. Yeah, now you need to plan strategically to get married as well, don't you think? And anything else in your game, there is strategy. In getting admissions in schools, in colleges, there's strategy. In Formula One, in racing, there's strategy everywhere, in everything. So, and most importantly, you know, something that's missed in the picture really, it is war. In war, there was strategy as well. So strategy is all about a game plan based on the current situation, okay? So we know what is strategy, okay? What do we think is the origin of strategy? Any ideas? Where did the origin come? The word strategy come? Curiosity, someone says. Who says Kausalya? Army. Yeah, Dr. Jyoti Tiwari, that's right. The origin of strategy is undoubtedly military. It's war terminology. It's war terminology. They used in war to plan, to strategically win. So it's all about, you know, winning and planning. You know, going further to say, etymologically, the word comes from the Greek word strategos. So strategos, which means who that leads an army. So strategy is all about winning the war. That is strategy, and that is the origin of strategy. That's how it has all evolved. And now we actually use it in our game plan. We use it in playing and everything. So that's how it's evolved, and that's where we are taking it from. Oh, I'm getting lots and lots of messages. Thank you for all the messages that's been coming through there as well. So now we talked about strategy. We talked about the origin. When we talk about strategy, we should talk about how strategy was used in a war, isn't it? We clearly know strategy came from war. So on that point, I'd like to ask this question, and please keep posting. It's nice to see your comments. Can we comment on what do you all think is the power of a true warrior? Can we get some comments? I have to chat. It's commitment. It's zeal, willpower, positivity, secret plan. Oh, I like it. Brave, confidence, strategy, obviously strategy. Very good answers. Very good answers. So I will tell you where we think, you know, actually where the power comes. The power actually comes from inside. It comes from within. The power of the warrior comes from within, from their mind, from their heart, their spirit. Strategy means to win. Yes, we know that. Strategy means to win. But to win, a warrior must win in his mind before even starting the battle. The warrior has to believe that he can win. So that is the power of the warrior. That which is within. I also think, you know, happiness also comes from within. So, you know, there's lots of interlinked activities here to have the strength within. So that's the power. That's the power of the warrior. And also, you know, of course, when we win a battle, you need to have technique. But technique to win the battle is only supportive. The technique is supportive, but actually the strategy is thinking about the enemy, his strength, their vulnerabilities, and the context for what this battle is for. That is the key here. That is the key here. So what are the things that has to be in one's plan, let's say? He or she should have a clear idea of the goals. We need to know why we are doing something. Why is there a battle? Why we are fighting? What is the purpose in everything? We need to know that. We need to have clear idea of that. He or she should have a good knowledge of their enemies. So what are we fighting against? You know, we need to know that, good idea of their enemies, their strength, their weakness, their vulnerabilities, knowledge of the war conditions. And also, so now we know about the enemies. We also need to know about us. As a warrior, you need to know about what is your strength, their strength, their weaknesses, and also the forces. And the warrior needs to also know and plan fighting techniques, tactics, something we should have discussed a little bit earlier. Tactics is also key to anything related to strategy. Tactics and field positions. I'm sure you've seen in Bahubali, they would have had all these field positions standing, and this Pallal Tevan and all trying to discuss where to go, which to win. So, technique and field positions, that is also there. And finally, for a strategic, leader, for someone who's having the power to win, a warrior should also employ his leaderships effectively, need to know what to do, how to manage. That is there as well. So these are all the key points that runs around when strategy was used in a war. Okay, let's talk about something. Now, these things are necessary to win a war. Clearly, we've discussed that. Can you tell me or think about, say something in your chat box about any famous war that had made an impact to you, let's say, where you thought, oh, that was really good. That was a fantastic move. Mahabharat, oh, that's cool, very good. Life, Indra Rajamani says it's life. Kargil, Yokesh says, cool, very interesting. Kargil, yes. And many, Shannon says it's everybody, every day. Yes, every day. Rohini says present war against COVID-19. Oh, fantastic answer. Yeah. What's happening today? There's lots of discussion, speculation. We're talking about Third World War. Yeah. Now China. Kalevani says no, it's China. Miss Kulali says it's China war. Kaushalya says it's war between heart and mind. Beautiful answers, guys. Fantastic. Absolutely. So, I totally get it. This is it. You are actually relating it to real life and seeing it in that perspective, which is fantastic. Yes. This is all there. And there's also someone saying surgical strike. Prasad is saying fantastic. So, I agree. And that's fantastic seeing all your comments. I would like to say something. Wasn't our freedom struggle an example of strategy? Please keep posting. It's nice seeing your comments as well while I talk. Agree. Yes. Dr. Jyoti Tiwari says she agrees. Yes. Our freedom struggle was an example of strategy. In our freedom struggle, we defeated a mighty nation which boasted of tremendous armory and weapons, which boasted that the sun never sets in its empire. I'm sitting in UK and saying this. That's the truth. Could we have won with bows and arrows, spears and swords against an army of guns and tanks? Don't think so. India could only succeed. India could succeed with only one weapon: non-violence. Non-violence and truth was Gandhi's weapons. Gandhi said, Satyameva Jayade. For Gandhi, it might be philosophy, but to me, it was pure strategy. In the given situation, how to succeed, that is strategy. So that was strategy. And I think we knew they can't fight and win the war with the real-time weapons. They knew. So that was fantastic, isn't it? Strategy. Here in that situation, I see strategic thinking, I see leadership, I see long-term goal on how the leaders, the then leaders, united the masses. They stood by their principles to win independence intellectually. Yeah, so that's what we were thinking about strategy and how strategy was used to win wars. Now, one other thing is, when we are talking about strategy, that's something that's important. We have to understand another word from the military terminology. We know strategy is military terminology. There's one other word we actually didn't talk about: tactics. Tactics. What is strategy? What is strategy and tactics? So in war, what happens is strategy weapons were used in long range. So it was like more of a long range shot. That was strategic weapons, whereas tactical ones were used at short range. So tactic is nothing but a quick and fast solution. It is a fix with a short-term view in perspective. How to quickly get this sorted? That is tactics. And yes, tactics is also important. Someone says tactics means smart work. Yes, we could say that as well. But smart work also needs strategy. Yeah. And what is strategy? Strategy is the ability to look up from the short-term view and trivial to view the long-term and the essential. We have to have a long-term vision. Okay, we win this. What do we do next? What happens? That vision, that long-term is essential, and that is covered in strategy. It is to address your causes. Why is something happening? How we resolve it? You resolve using your causes rather than just working on the symptoms. And it's more on that elaborated to say, to see woods rather than trees. That is strategy. So tactics is used to win a battle. Strategy is used to win a war. Yeah. So that's strategy versus tactics. I like this comments coming. So please keep coming, just so I feel like you all can hear me well. So now moving on. We know strategy. We talked about tactics. We talked about how strategy was used in war. Now, how can we think strategically? Any ideas, guys? You want to post? How can we think strategically? Ignore me for drinking coffee. It's 7:45 here. So I'm obviously a bit sluggish, getting woken up. Okay, so Mr. Mutturaj says using experience. Ms. Kausalya is saying with clear vision. Dr. Jyoti Tiwari is saying thinking logically. Yogesh is saying clearly understanding about the goal. Yes, that is all about strategy. Yes. But how do we make ourselves think strategically? Time management, tactics and strategies. Oh, wonderful responses. Wonderful responses. Thank you. And Rajeshri says superb presentation. Thank you. Ms. Rajeshri, thank you so much, ma'am. So actually, here's the key. Here's something. Thinking strategically is a complex thing. In simple terms, it said it is not easy. So I didn't say this, by the way. What's happening? Where is my thoughts coming from? So recent research to our limbic system functions actually provides us some explanation on why thinking strategically can be difficult. Because thinking strategically, the process to think requires complex neural interaction between your left-sided brain. I'm sure you all know about this, left-sided brain and right-sided brain. So left-sided brain, which is used for rational or logical processes and right-sided activity that is used for invented or creative processes. So strategic thinking involves rational and logical thinking along with intuition, creativity, and even aesthetics. It's key, isn't it? I say aesthetics. We all know aesthetics is signs of beauty. We also need aesthetics and a flair to do something. So, it is a combination of all this. You need to have data to think about it. You have to think logically. At the same time, you have to be innovative. It is a combination. So someone says the process makes us confused. Yes, that's what the researchers are saying. That is how they're trying to put it to us, the thinking of how it all has to work hand in hand. Yeah, I agree. It sounds complex, isn't it? Strategic thinking sounds complex. So what do we say? Are Indians strategic thinkers? I'd like to hear that. Yes, Dr. Tiwari says yes. Fabulous. Yes, naturally, in simple terms. Dr. Tiwari, would you like to add a bit more why you think that way? Yeah. Indians are strategic thinkers. Now, in simple terms, why do I say this? Why did Dr. Tiwari and a couple of others who's put the comments that think that? Because strategic thinking is all about long-term goals. We agree? I've seen in Europe, I have too many friends here in Europe, and I've been living here. It's going to be 20 years now. So for all these years, one thing I've seen is the people outside from where I've come from, they're more concerned about the contemporary and the current things, especially when it comes to family life. It's all about living it for the day or, for a few times for the current life. And I'm not denying, nothing is right or wrong here, guys, by the way, just so we're clear on that. But we Indians, we think about our future. The day a child is born, everything is set. Don't we agree? Yes, I agree. There is failure plans too. Of course, I agree to Dr. Jyoti. Things have to. That's why we're talking about this, isn't it? Strategy, and we will discuss about it a little bit more. So, from one person gets married, or even before, they think about their family, their children, plans for the future, children's education, marriage, jewelry, studies, buying houses. It's all planned at a very early stage, long-term thinking. Now, to someone in the comments, who said, oh, strategic thinking sounds complex. Yes, it sounds complex, but in simplistic terms, we have some of it. Not all of it, we have some of it. So there is strategic thinking there in Indians. I think innately, I would say, this is one of the simplistic form of strategic thinking. Lovely comments. Yeah, thank you. So yes, we say Indians have strategic thinking. We spoke about strategy in war. We spoke about tactics and strategic thinking. Now the main bit, we have to move on to what really is strategic thinking from an organization perspective. That's key, isn't it? We have to start thinking about what the organization has to think, and everything is about it. So for an organization, it is the ability to synthesize and utilize intuition and creativity. If you see in Google or big corporate companies, they have thinking space. I went to uni at Imperial. I went to Imperial for a lecture, and then they said to me, "Oh, this is the corner you can sit." And it was surrounded with beautiful scenic places, and it had, it had plants, and it was so wonderful to sit there. And I was just sitting there, and eventually I was starting to think about a few things. And after a little while, I met one of my professors, and then they said that is the thinking space. So yes, The company expects you to think creatively as well. Why? In order for the organization to achieve an integrated perspective. Okay. And it's also the ability to plan, organize, coordinate, monitor, and make use of the available resources. So you have, this is all part of strategic thinking. You know, this is how they kind of see the multifaceted aspect from an organization. And it's quite essential. And why strategic thinking is so essential? Why are we sitting here and talking today? Because it enables organizations to change and adapt to the challenges, different challenges. Imagine the situation we're sitting in today. We've been thrown at different challenges. COVID-19 is one of those challenges we're all facing. Don't we all agree? So that's the different challenges and many more that the organization are likely to face in the future. Yeah. And you know, we're talking about all this and we're talking about strategic thinking, but you know what? There's one thing about this whole idea itself. Strategic thinking is still a critical area of research. It is in an infant stage. There are very little empirical literature and theories around it. It's like a new area we are developing. Our thinking is developing. Years back, how we are evolving. So is strategic thinking. It's also being debated by scholars and practitioners for the past 25 years in an effort to understand its meaning and its impact on organizations, leadership, and performance. Although this concept that we're talking about, strategic thinking, is gaining a lot of interest, I still think there is lots of area that is under-researched. Okay. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. So we now spoke about how strategic thinking is used for organization. A little bit more theories now coming our way. So, aspects of strategic thinking competency. We have to talk about it. We've chosen to talk about strategic thinking. Have to talk about it. So there are theories. When we say there are theories, I say there are 6 aspects of thinking strategically. So guys, keep a keen eye on this out. Look out. So this is where we're going to master what we already have. We already have a simplistic form. We're mastering the 6 aspects. So what are the 6 aspects we're going to refer with? We're going to say strategic thinking in general. Thinking strategically in general. So when we talk about leaders, let's talk about leaders, you know, it makes more sense. It's the ability of the leaders to understand the issues they are facing in relation to their current and future performance. Okay. So what are the issues? What are they facing today? How are they going to improvise the future? It is also about what they want, their solutions, and they are planning to achieve it. We spoke about this slightly about what as Indians we do, right? We think about the current, we think about the future, we think about what they want, but added to it, also thinking about the solutions, and we have to have a plan to achieve it. So generally, strategic thinking in general itself is necessary to think strategically. You know, you have to get the idea there, the concept there. That is the first aspect, right? Are we following? Someone says excellent session. Thank you, Mr. Sanjeev. Fantastic. Cool. So that's the base. Let's get one. Okay. The next is dialectical thinking. Dialectical thinking. What is dialectical thinking? It's thinking in time. It's the ability to access the past. We have to think about the past and the present to determine the future. Okay, right? thinking in time. You have to know what happened in the past. Why do we have retrospectives in companies or in major places now as well? It is also about learning. Okay, what did we do? What are our best? Where did we lack? It is about the learnings from our past. Bring the best version of oneself also comes there, right? It's the ability to access the present and past to determine the future. This is all about business strategy as well in one place, and strategic orientation. We'll talk about this a little later when it comes to leadership. Okay, so that's dialectical thinking for me, or thinking process. That is also one key aspect of strategic thinking. How we process the information and how we determine the processed information for our future. I'm kind of conscious on the time, so I have to keep it moving. Okay, so the next aspect is the theme-centered or goal-focused. What does it mean? Theme-centered, goal-focused, intent-focused. What does it mean? There should not be any distraction, but focus is on our long-term performance. And how are we going to achieve it? Set the goal. I mean, we were always learning from it. Yes, Mr. Vikram says work at aim. Yes. How are we going to achieve it? You have to think about your goal. You should not be distracted. It's about objectives. It's about the ever so changes. It's about decision making, and it is also about equilibrium. To balance that. Yeah. Then there is system perspective. System sarilla அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, right? Okay, system sarilla. It's the leadership's knowledge and awareness of the current situation, its system, its environment. It's about the product, the challenges, the innovation, the changes. That is all the system perspective, isn't it? Now see, coronavirus situation. No classrooms, no uni, no working. What are we trying to do? Evolving. We're doing a webinar. This itself is a system perspective. Your institution has been thinking strategically. How can we do better? We're having online classes, Google Classrooms. That's all understanding. That is the awareness of the current situation. What can we do better at the current situation? That is how it is. And the next one is intelligent opportunism. Intelligent opportunism. Have you heard about this word? Intelligent opportunism. This refers to the leadership ability to take clear decision based on limited information. Limited information only is available, but you have to think intelligently and take some decisions. The leadership should see that contradictory information does not hinder its decision making. You're going to have multiple views, multiple information, but the person who's in that role, and all of us in many ways as well, we have to detach ourselves from the views. The leadership should listen to various voices, but they should have the ability to filter the views unbiasedly. There should be some unbias. You should take a step back and think it. There should be some opportunism there as well. And to take a clear decision, there's going to be limited information, contradictory information. That is intelligent opportunism, and that is one aspect of strategic thinking. And the final one is hypothesis-driven thinking process. Already strategic thinking, difficult, complex, and சொல்லிட்டீங்க. இப்போ hypothesis-driven thinking process. What is hypothesis-driven thinking process? It is to generate ideas, frame a hypothesis, and test the ideas with the available data. Simple, very simple. When coronavirus pandemic started, the WHO and the government advised the use of mask only to people infected and doctors. Later on, they analyzed the data. They changed their recommendation. It now says you should wear mask based on the new data analysis. So where is that coming from? They looked at it, they understood, okay, wearing mask means the spread of information is less. So there is some hypothesis there because they have limited information. We have limited information about COVID-19. So we have to improvise. We have to learn. We have to keep on top of the current situation and understand and analyze the data. There is a lot of it. And that is one example of hypothesis-driven thinking. I've already 35 minutes. I'm conscious on the time. I know you're saying super sexy and all that. Thank you so much. We have to get going. So that is the different aspects of strategic thinking. Did that make sense? Thank you, Mr. Kamlesh. Thank you. Getting lots of amazing feedback as well. Keep it going, guys. Wonderful. It's a super section. Wonderful presentation. Thank you. So yeah, let's move on. We spoke about strategic thinking aspects, all the 6 aspects. And now on the key dimensions of strategic leadership. Okay, we thought about strategy, strategic thinking, it's complex. We sort of discussed about all the different areas there. Now we have to think about leadership, right? That is our main focus. How do we use that to leadership? And leadership, guys, don't you agree? It's not about politics and all. It's leadership. It's leadership is an attribute within everybody of us. It's inborn. It's an attribute to us. Yeah. So in the key dimensions, the first one is strategic orientation. Okay. There are 3 kinds of orientation. First is customer orientation. What is customer orientation? It is the knowledge of customers and how to serve them. So one of the projects when I worked for Sky in the past there was a project known as AdSmart. AdSmart means providing advertisement in a smart way. So all the Skybox, that collects the data. And when you watch, you all are watching TV. I mean, some people are bored of watching advertisement, but let me say that I love watching some of the Indian advertisements. They take so much time and effort to create them. And I'm like fascinated when I sit and watch them. So that's not what I'm actually trying to get here. What I'm trying to get here is the company that I worked for in the past, they analyzed the people who are watching the TV. Okay, there's lots of, now we know everything is about data. So, who are the people who are watching the program? What is the age group? What do they want? Do they have kids? Do they play games? What are they interested? They understood all of that. But in data security, you cannot identify a person. Okay, just to clear. But at the same time, we can analyze your group of people based on that. The advertisement that played on TV was smart, providing advertisement in the smart fashion. So I have 2 kids. I will not be interested about pension schemes or detailed life insurance, which is after 60 years. My kids will be more interested with games. They'll be more interested is, what is the new thing that's available in the market? Is Frozen coming, or what is it? Is Avengers coming? Is Avenger games coming? They'll be interested in that. So providing that in that way, in a smart way. So we only watch advertisements that it is relevant to us. I don't watch about pets. We don't have advertisements about pets. We don't have a pet, although my boys would love to have a pet. So that particular project, and this project I did was about 10, 15 years ago. They were pioneers. They thought about it. If we provide advertisements, then you will capture the people. You want to make the impact to who you are providing your advertisements with, isn't it? All the advertisements may not be useful for us. So that the company used was customer orientation. It wanted to use the knowledge of the customers and how they can provide different ways to serve them. They'll send marketing on that particular things. So then that is collaboration. It's their way of strategic leadership. The next one is competitor orientation. So what is competitor orientation? Thank you, Dr. Vega, saying very impressive. Thank you so much. So what is competitor orientation? It is the knowledge of key competitors and how to cope with their related challenges. We need to know about our competitors, don't we? Small example here, okay? We all watch TV. Sorry, we can't watch from here, but we try and catch up sometimes in TV, especially in Tamil Nadu. Too many TVs, Sun TV, Vijay TV, etc., etc. And now you all must be having loads of fun watching all those TV. So with that TV, okay, if one channel puts Manada Mailada, the next channel will put Neengalum Prabhudeva Aglam. If one has Super Singer, then the other TV will telecast some singer. This also in way for us, we take the information from it. It is for us, it takes, look at it. They're looking at their competitors. That is the knowledge of the competitors and how they face the competition. I'm not trying to say that copying something is the right thing. No, that is not what I'm implying. What I'm trying to imply here, it is the knowledge of your competitor. In many ways, you know, another important thing I'd like to say is Google and Zoom. In this coronavirus time, Zoom was such a hit. In Google, they didn't have the multi-tiling. You could only see one person. Immediately, Google went and produced a new layout for Google Meets. They wanted to have all of that. So that's improvising. They thought, oh, Zoom is picking up. Let me pick up. Let me change. Let me evolve. That is competitor orientation. And then is cost or value orientation. This is the knowledge of products or service costs and how to save costs. So if you see, commercial institutions will look into saving cost. Any businesses, any product, any corporates, they will look into saving cost. But value-oriented institutions will be looking into increasing and to enhance the value of the service provided. Look at the webinar today. That shows the value orientation of an educational institution. Don't you agree? COVID-19, they can easily say, oh, fine, no classes. That effort they are putting, they want to add value. They want to add value to their students, to their institution. That is value orientation. Yeah, yes, agree, cool. Then there is strategic execution or implementation. Now, this is a process, okay? And in this process, in strategic execution itself, we have to use our organizational structure, its tactics, incentives, and control system for the implementation of the strategies. We have gone through our strategies, we've created some strategies. Now we have to execute the strategies. We have to implement our strategies. Then only you can lead strategically, right? Okay, I've thought strategically, I've done this orientation. We can't leave it there. We have to implement it. Yeah, how are we going to implement it? So I have a strategy, I'm thinking about it. I can't just implement that with that way, right? The company, if you take, for example, it will add bonus and other kind of incentives to employees to motivate and encourage the employee to increase productivity. There will also be some form of control system because you want to maintain discipline and order within the organization. So that will be there as well. So this all should evolve together to have a good strategic execution or implementation. Okay, and then there must be some sort of strategic alignment within organization. So strategic alignment refers to the coherence of organizational strategy with internal and external part of the organization. It is in one way, we can even say it is a human resource strategy. And this strategic alignment, you know what is alignment, yeah? To being aligned with the different sectors. There are 3 dimensions to strategic alignment. What are those dimensions? Vertical alignment. What is vertical alignment? There should be alignment between strategy and organizational goals. That is vertically aligned. I have a strategy, but if I have a different goal, then I'm not aligned with it. Right? So there should be alignment between strategy and the goal. This means a strategy should be dependent on the goal of the organization. We already spoke about how strategy of non-violence helped with the nation's goal of independence, right? So that is that alignment. Then there is horizontal alignment. What is horizontal alignment? That is the coordination and alignment between the different parts of the organization. An organization will have different departments. There will be HR who decides on things. There'll be finance, there'll be management, there'll be other parts of employees. If HR decides one thing, finance decides something else, and the management like disagree with both, what happens? There's confusion. And it's important to have alignment between various arms and departments of the institutions. Okay, that is horizontal alignment. And then there is strategy implementation. So there, now we have all the alignment, but there should also be implementation in the part where there is alignment between managers and employees. If the management decides some things and it's not properly communicated, or if the employees are not convinced, then there won't be poor implementation of the strategy. There won't be any implementation of the strategy. So it's important to have good understanding and proper communications channel between both the parties. Big organizations, you must have heard about, your families, or you see big organizations have regular town hall. They have monthly update. From my perspective, if you see the company that I'm working for during this coronavirus situation, they have every 2 weeks, the CEO meets us to give an update and answers questions. That gives a sense of value to the employees and creates mutual trust and collaboration. And then comes strategic flexibility. I'm conscious of the time, so I'm going to slightly rush through here, okay? This refers to the organization ability to get through external changes in the surrounded environment. Look at this now. Any change, nothing is static, everything is changeable. And we have to be flexible depending on the changes in the organization. What are the strategic flexibility that's currently used? You can please keep continuing in typing the messages. Thank you. What are the flexibility now that is used? We're working from home. That is one flexibility, right? Now in India, 10th standard students have all been passed without an examination. It's another flexibility in one way. Depending on the situation, we have to change, we have to evolve. That is strategic flexibility. So those were the dimensions of strategic leadership. Now we have to see key leadership effectiveness, with the dimensions, how we lead effectively. First, for that, the most important thing is for key leadership, the leader should have a vision. Every leader should have a vision or future or a long-time goal for the organization, right? So I'll talk about one thing very quickly. I'll talk about Ocado, the company I joined. There were 3 people, Jonathan Feynman, Jason Assing, and Tim Steiner. Sorry about that. In 2000, they were all working in Goldman Sachs, a banking company, and decided, okay, let's go and start something. So they started an online grocer. And a couple of years later, Waitrose and John Lewis helps them, and they become the first online grocer, first online grocery delivery. You can order your groceries, your vegetables, everything online, and they deliver it. Then they wanted to cut down the mundane tasks, the carrying, weightlifting, picking. They thought strategically. They made it Ocado Smart Platform, which is there are robots that do the mundane task moving. There is software behind it on how it picks up the picking, the inbound, the decanting, all of that. And the grid that was all evolved, they changed it for their own purposes. First they did. And then they thought, they built an amazing product. And then they thought, why don't we sell that product across? Few years back, they had international clients. I'm sure you know about casinos, French, Canadian Sobeys, and the US's great retailer Kruger. They all wanted the Ocado Smart Platform with robots, which does the picking, and there is the Ocado Smart Platform. So those 3 people had some kind of a vision there. They had a long-term goal. They knew in a few years' time what was going to change, what was coming. So that is vision. to me, guys. And then there is what else is very effective for a leader? First you have to have vision. Agreed. Next, cross-cultural competency. What is cross-cultural competency? The leader should have the ability to work and obtain results from people from different cultures. In the current environment, working with different people is very key, isn't it? Different culture, different race, different gender. Leaders should be impartial, unbiased. They should recognize talent without prejudices, without racial or cultural or gender prejudices, which will create a culture of respect within the organization. No prejudice, treat people equally. Come on. See the talent, not the color, not the gender, not the race. Where are they coming from? Come on, we should be apart from it. That is the key behind strategic leadership. And every one of you have to be that way. Think from that way. Cross-cultural competency, very, very key. And for me, it is very important either. Okay, and then there is the next part. Influential skills. Okay, it's kind of key. Now let me speak. The leader should have good influential skills. Apologies, my tongue is twisting. But not manipulative skills. In the long run, manipulation is not successful or sustainable. At the same time, as a leader, you should have the ability to affect others. So influential skills is key. There should also be follower commitment. Okay, someone says, so Dr. Jyoti is a leader here. She has some ideas. She's giving some suggestions. But the team should follow that. They should have some commitment, isn't it? So that is follower commitment. This denotes team commitment towards company goals and objective. As a leader, we should command that respect from the followers, not demand. Not demand. As a leader, your behavior, your attitude, the culture you build, the collaboration, the trust you build resonates. That gives follower commitment. And finally, for a key leadership, which is very important, is group organization. So what is group organization? It's all about collaboration, coordination, cooperation, along with democratic functioning. That's when you build the culture, right? Leaders and members should work together in the most efficient and effective way to obtain positive results. And this is where group collaboration and coordination comes. And these are all the key leadership effectiveness. I'm clearly running behind time. I can see that next is the last one, guys, and we're finishing off. Okay, now we've talked about different aspects, and I think clearly there is a need for strategic leadership. Why do we need strategic leadership in the current situation? I basically think there are good and bad in the current situation. COVID-19 has been a difficult thing to handle, to manage, okay? I somehow feel is there a lack of strategic leadership in the current world? Not everyone, most. Most of the world is currently run by jingoistic leaders, thinking about quick fixes and different things. The current situation itself is bringing out incompetencies in several areas. We locked down the whole world. Good tactical move. What about the strategic and long-term resolution to it? Till we find a medicine and vaccine, which might take a few months. Today, I read the newspaper, August 15th, we are planning to do a new vaccine in India. Fantastic. Good. So, till we find that, till we identify a medicine or a vaccine, it might take years till it reaches everyone. What are our long-term resolution? How are leaders thinking in that perspective? I'd like to see that. The world has become hyper-competitive and age-seeking. Hyper-competitive, agreed. What happens in one part of the world affects the rest of the world, isn't it? We've seen that. According to technologists, scientists, and economists, we are going to have the fourth industrial revolution. What is the fourth industrial revolution? Yes, that is the technological revolution. We are having AI, robotics, nanotechnology, quantum computing, so many things. Name all the different words that are coming out. Drastic changes are taking place in vital domains like transportations. We have, look at the changes in our transportation, in our healthcare, in our manufacturing, in agriculture, in energy, in defense, in aerospace, in the buildings we have. There are huge challenges awaiting us in the future. From petrol, from diesel, from electricity. We have hybrid cars now in UK. We are planning to have electricity, fully electric cars in 2022 or something. Sorry, there was a distraction. Yeah. And in the future, there's going to be driverless vehicles. In Okado itself, we are planning that, driverless vehicles. From hospitals, we have virtual clinic in healthcare now. From classrooms, school, going to sitting in school, cramped there, or in colleges. Now we have Google Classrooms and online lessons. The changes are phenomenal. It's historic in terms of size, speed, and space. Look, there were thousands and thousands of books in big, huge libraries. They all converted to a nano chip. I have a Kindle down here. I can read all the books. Technology. About the speed of things. Say, thank you, Dr. Sharmila. I want to send you a bouquet from UK. In 1 hour, she'll receive it. Delivery service, wherever, which part of the world you are, 1 hour delivery service. You don't have to go to the shops. Everything has changed. Online shopping, food delivery, online selling, options are endless. I even have a RoboVac, which is a robot cleaning machine that hovers down. Things are changing. We don't need to even sometimes step out of the house. The world has become much smaller. Look at me sitting thousands of miles away and chatting away about strategic leadership. However, the changes that has come through have both promise and peril. Peril, why do I say that? Can we be with people becoming jobless, and technology itself can be disruptive? What happens when driverless vehicles and robots take people's task? How the post office have been closed around us? How are we going to use these changes? A strategic leader will use it as a promise, and he will take it for the progress of the people. If we don't have strategic leaders, then that is a problem here. We have to evolve during the situation. So that is the problem here. Yeah, I'd like to say just a couple of more minutes before I finish. I'm really sorry I'm running late. I appreciate it. I'd like to say this, our leaders in the past, my kind of strategic leaders from the past who had a long-term vision. When India won independence, India was one of the most literate and most poor country in the world. Now it can compete with any leading economy of the world. That didn't happen in a year or couple of years. It took decades to come to this stage. Our leaders after independence planned for our future. They invested in education, invested in people, invested in infrastructure, had planning commission. They invested to build a strong foundation. They not only constructed schools, the children didn't come to school. So to feed the children, they provided free food, sattunavu. They invested in other things, free books, uniforms, slippers to get the children to go to school. That is a well-thought plan to make India to be a literate country. Built IIT, IIM, there was plagues. They invested on research, health and medication. Today, the superpowers are standing before India for medicine. India is exporting cheap medicines to over 120 countries globally. This was not done just like that. This was the planning from 50 years ago. Today, globally, all the multinational companies and big corporates, come on, who is running the show? Software engineers, doctors, scientists, journalists, you name it. It is because of the intellectual power and education which was invested by our leaders by the time of independence. This is strategic thinking. This is why strategic thinking and leadership are essential. Strategic thinking is not just about long-term thinking. It is about thinking out of the box to to survive the ever so changing world. This is not only applied for business or for politics, it's for every institution, for every family, it is for individual also. And now this is the key topic. This is also very crucial for teachers. A whole generations will be affected by a teacher. A teacher affects eternity. I repeat, a teacher affects eternity is the saying. Now, I asked for your experience, quickly to poll on it. Less than 5 years, some people said less than 5 years, 10 to 20 years, there's 46% less than 5 years, and 30 to 40 years is 7%. And some says more than 70 years of experience as well. There's only 1%. So 3 people have more than 70 years of experience. Let me tell you guys, experience is not work experience. It is life experience. Every life has an experience. Your age is your experience. Build your experience. Think strategically. That is your experience. When I put that question, they asked me, do you mean work experience? No, that is the trick in the question. Proudly say, I have so many years of experience. That builds your experience. As a teacher, I'd like to finish with a couple of lines. As a teacher, one should be a strategic thinker who thinks long-term. They plan for the future of the children, the future of the nation, the future of the world. I'd like to finish by saying, I wish you all to be very successful, strategic leaders. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And I'm happy to take any questions.
Much. Thank you, Taffy. What a great presentation. I hope all the participants received a lot of takeaways from your session. And you can see the chat box and you can understand from that. And now over to the participants. If you have any questions, you can ask Taffy. You can raise your hands so that we can unmute you. Yes, participant.
Thank you.
She's ready.
Thank you so much. I'm so impressed. It's amazing having so much communication. Thank you, guys. I spoke from my heart. Let's say that. You've been a wonderful audience. Thank you.
I think that I use this intelligent opportunism because in the month of February, when you were in India, you were in a short visit to India. And at that time, I told your mom that I want to have Taffy in my college at least for 1 hour session. And we could not make it possible because you were so busy at that time. You were about to move and then I could not call you. But now more than 500 persons, they are watching you and they are getting benefit out of your presentation. And I'm very, very happy about this, Taffy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Principal. I have to be formal here. Thank you so much. It's amazing having words like that. Yes, absolutely. I missed coming to do the presentation there. Next time when we are in India, and I'm hoping this is all going to clear down, and I'm definitely going to meet you all in person, not only virtually.
Yes, yes. Yes, I think no questions.
It says 6 participants raised hand.
Raised hands. Host from Annamal's. Can you please unmute them?
Ma'am, already I have muted, ma'am, but not yet they are asking any questions, ma'am.
Oh, they are not asking questions.
Okay. Please go ahead if you would like me to answer anything or even just a general chat.
Just one question. Dear resource person, kindly enlighten us on how to gel in a team peacefully where you have incompetent leaders and who do not approach strategically. This is a question in the chat box.
Okay. So if I'm understanding right, you have an incompetent leader.
Yes, yes.
And there is a team and you want to see how you can
gel with them peacefully.
Gel with them peacefully.
Yes.
It's not a perfect situation. Let's agree. I totally understand. But one thing I believe is what you are, you resonate it outside. You show them what is strategic thinking. You show them strategic leadership. Everybody has it in them. Show your attribute. Think, walk through, and they will see it from you and they will observe it from you. That's how you can build. That's a better way of building, showing impact creating. And talk about all of this, talk about not small-minded chats, talk intellectually. That actually, nowadays people are competitive. They want to learn more. They want to change. They want to become better people in life. You show them and they will follow. You be the leader here. Take control of the situation. Nobody cannot take control. You can take control of the situation and try it and say, I don't know who it came from, but I'm sure definitely, this session has helped you, and process it, take it all in, process it through and work it through. You will be able to gel the team. You will become the glue of the team. Does it help?
Yes, another one question from the chat box, Taffy, from Lieutenant Praveen Perumal. What is the formula to become a good strategic leader? They're asking for a formula.
Good formula. See, Kevin, let me say this, we're not robots. I'm in perception robotics. We write algorithms and formulas to tune robots to get work done. So I don't know about that algorithm, but one thing I can say, it lies within you. You have it all there. You bring that out. To be a strategic thinker, you have to first learn to think strategically, which I said we already have. Improvise it. Win within yourself and take it from there. Absorb the information. Try and live that information. Those are the formulas, in your words, if I may say that. This cannot lead to something. As I said, strategic thinking itself under-researched. So these are some of the aspects which we can evolve with. Those 6 aspects I talked about, think through it. That is where build yourself slowly based on it. The first point is there. Your heart is there. You want to be a strategic leader. You won. You've climbed the first step. That is how I would see it. Does it help?
Yes. Okay, it's in our hand. The power is within ourselves.
The power is within us. Absolutely. It's completely within us. Like I totally started off with. We have to observe and we have to bring it out. We have to work it out. You have to start thinking and observing, and that's how you bring the best of yourself. Always compete with yourself. For me, that is my strategy. I compete with myself. I compete with none other. That person does this person does that. I don't care. That's not my problem. I cannot be like someone else. I cannot live someone else's life. And someone else's formula will not work for me because I'm not a robot. I'm a human. My own formula will work for me. And my formula is to work and be a better person every day, every single day. I make a conscious effort. You also had that capacity building about goals, right? I saw that. It was quite interesting. You think about it. Think everything as a goal you want to achieve. Set yourself your own goal. Your path is the right path. You make your path the right path.
Thank you, Taffy. Thank you very much. So intelligently, you answered all the questions. Thank you very much, Taffy. So now let us move on to the formal vote of thanks by our team. And before that, I have few announcements to the participants. Course certificate. It will be sent to your mail within 3 or 4 days. In between, please don't mail us and ask for it. And I hope that all of you have enjoyed all the 5 days, and all the 5 presentations are available in YouTube and you can see them. And those who are asking for every day, some of you are asking for PPT. And the whole presentation is available in YouTube. Please watch that and enlighten yourself. Thank you very much, participants. Because of your support, all these 5 days we have successfully completed, and the 5th day session was wonderful. And thank you very much, Taffy, for being with us. And now over to the organizing team for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Shimala.
Good afternoon to all. I'm Amy Mock from Anamal College of Education for Women. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion. On behalf of Hanamal College of Education for Women, we thank the speaker of this session, Mr. Stafflin Prathana James William, for consenting to be the resource person. I am sure that the insights you have provided has challenged our thinking and is sure to guide us towards developing strategic leadership skills in our teaching. We really enjoyed listening your session, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful session. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I also wish to
Thank you, Emma.
I also wish to express my gratitude to our college secretary, Mr. S. Muralidharan, and our beloved principal, Dr. A. Joycelyn Sharmila, for their motivation, encouragement, and continued support in organizing this international capacity building course. Also, it's my privilege to thank all the resource person of this course for making excellent presentations and making this course interesting and meaningful. Also, I extend my gratitude and appreciation to all the participants for paying your valuable attention. This event would not have been successful without you. Thank you, participants, for making this course successful. Once again, we thank you one and all, and we wish to have your support and cooperation in all our future endeavors. Thank you.